Hi, I'm Douglas Robinson, and in this video we're going to be talking about REST APIs. Not so much within Cherwell. Cherwell's a great example, but just REST APIs in general, and some of the tools that we here actually prefer to use when troubleshooting and working with REST APIs or developing integrations into REST APIs. And those tools are going to be a REST client, which for me, I personally greatly enjoy the Insomnia REST client. You can go download that one for free. And then we have Fiddler, which is a listening device, very similar to Wireshark, if you ever heard of it, that will display and allow you to capture and view the results of any outbound or incoming traffic on your machine. So when you send out a request to a website or through a REST API, you'll be able to see a list of those different requests here, and you can grab important statistics and other information about them off on the right side of the screen as well. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to grab one of the methods in this API, and we're going to call it very quickly through the Insomnia REST client so you can see how that works. And then from there we're going to take a look at what it looks like in Fiddler. So there's one in here that I think you can probably do without without authorization, and I'm pretty sure it has something to do with BizObs summaries by type. Yeah, so we're just going to grab this one right here. We're going to create a new method in Insomnia for this. So to do that, we're going to select new request. We're going to name this Cherwell API get BizObs summaries. And then over on the right, you can see, hey, is this a get? Is it a post? Is it put? Is it a patch? Blah, blah, blah. You can change this afterwards. They have an option for a custom method, but in our case, this is a get. You then see your URL as an option up at the top. We're going to paste in our value here, and we're going to type in we want major objects. I'm pretty sure I need authorization headers for this method to work, so we're just going to try it without that and see the error that it throws. But for the URL, you'll add in your Cherwell user, your Cherwell server name. For me, it's just IP address, and then slash Cherwell API slash API slash v1. Okay. So if you go and send this now, you get the response, hey, this isn't authorized. By the way, within Insomnia, you have a couple of different options. If you have to send body content, you can select here, and you can select different types of body content. If you do certain things like JSON or XML, it actually will give you syntax, highlighting, and things like that, special formatting. You can do multi-part forms. Like basically, this REST client will guide you through submitting different types of data. And you have, something like other, which would just be like generic raw body content as well. Generally, that's not going to be for a get though. That'll be for post requests. And then if you go to these other tabs like auth, you can specify different types of authentication, like basic auth. You can pick OAuth, and you can either explicitly send in, you can put the access token in here, but you can also put in all the information for getting the access token, like your Cherwell server URL. If you're just testing it out in Insomnia, you could put your Cherwell server URL right here for the full, slash token. You put your client ID here. You put your client secret isn't a thing for us, and then it'll actually go out and get it for you. I think there is a spot that you would be able to put in the username and password. I honestly don't remember, but basically this will go out and fetch that actual token for you, or a refresh token if that's relevant. So that's really useful. Maybe it's under bearer token. I don't remember. But basically those options are really neat for just, something as simple as grabbing authentication. You can also add in any number of headers to this header tab. And so basically what I'm saying is I like this REST client because it's very useful for submitting information. You see your status code and the response up here with how much time it took, how big this was, timeline, things like that. And then you can also see information like the header that was sent back. Has a nice copy button. Under this drop down you have a visual preview which formats the data, and then you can also do raw data. This drop down is important in Insomnia because if it sends back HTML, it will try to compile that HTML here, so it's useful to be able to just look at raw data. And then so again, if we send this out again and then we go look at Fiddler, you'll see that I should have a request either at the top or the bottom here. It can't be that one. So in Fiddler, we should be able to send this out. We got a response. So I was having some trouble getting my requests to actually show up in Fiddler, which is running in the background. What I believe I need to do is if you go in Fiddler and you go into your preferences in Fiddler, there is an option for it to act as a proxy, I believe, somewhere, I think under connections. So Fiddler listens on port 8888. So you need to go into Insomnia the first time you set it up. You'll go into preferences and you'll set it up to use a network proxy to your local host 8888. And then that should work. And now we close that out, we send this request. Ta-da! Look at that. I was really curious. I was having some trouble because on my other machine this has already been done. And I'm setting up this machine for the first time. So we have no body text that went out for our request, which is up here at the top. You can see we sent a get to Cherwell API get business object summaries type major, and then the response that we get back shows up at the bottom. You might have to select text view to see the message data, but the response says request not authorized. So for any given REST request that you're going to have, you can see the information that was sent right up here, and then you can see the information that's sent back, the headers. There's a text view. There's also like an option for JSON, which will format and validate. There's an XML view, a raw view. The raw view is nice because it puts everything together. And that's pretty much that. So you can send something out through Insomnia, and it will show up directly in Fiddler. You can see this list here, and then you can go over and see the results and what was actually sent out. There's a lot of other options for this as well. And then if this view up here gets really cluttered, you can go click this little X and select remove all. It'll start over. Or if you want to stop capturing traffic, you can go to File and uncheck Capture Traffic. There's also a little button at the bottom that says Capturing. You can click on that. You can click on the empty space to go back and start capturing again. And that's all there is to it. So you can play around with Insomnia quite a bit. The only thing that tripped me up even while I was recording this video was you may have to set up Insomnia to use Fiddler as a proxy. Which is interesting because you could also have Cherwell set up, I think, to route requests through Fiddler, or just ping requests into Fiddler if it's hosted on a machine. But that's outside the scope of this video. So while you're testing out REST APIs, when you're first just trying to figure out the format for connecting to Cherwell's REST API, you can do so using the REST client of your choice. Again, I prefer Insomnia. It's just very easy to use and has a lot of really nice features. And then for testing, you can obviously use Fiddler. That's it. Thanks. Leave any comments if I left out anything really important or if you've got good suggestions for other tools. And yeah, thanks. Have a nice day.